Boys and girls, good morning again. Today we're going to read chapter 16, the Oompa Loompas. Oompa Loompa, everyone said at once. Oompa Loompa. Imported directly from Loompa land, said Mr. Wonka proudly. There's no such place, said Mrs. Salt. Excuse me, dear lady, but Mr. Wonka, cried Mrs. Salt. I am a teacher of geography. Then you'll know all about it, said Mr. Wonka. And what a terrible country it is. Nothing but thick jungles infested by the most dangerous beasts in the entire world. Hornswogglers and snozwangers and those terrible, wicked wangdoodles. A wangdoodle would eat 10 Oompa Loompas for breakfast and come galloping back for a second helping. When I went out there, I found the little Oompa Loompas living in tree houses. They had to live in tree houses to escape from the wangdoodles and the hornswogglers and the mozwangers. They were practically starving to death. They were living on green caterpillars, and the caterpillars tasted revolting, and the Oompa Loompas spent every moment of their day climbing through the treetops, looking for other things to mash up with the caterpillars to make them taste better. And beetles, for instance, and eucalyptus leaves, and the bark of the bung bung tree, all of them beastly, but not quite so beastly as the caterpillars. Poor little Oompa Loompas. The one food they longed for more than any other was the cocoa bean. But they couldn't get it, and Oompa Loompas were lucky if they found 3 or 4 cocoa beans a year. But they craved them. They used to dream about cocoa all night and talk about them all day. You only had to mention the word cocoa as an Oompa Loompa, and he would start drooling at the mouth. The cocoa bean is grown on the cocoa tree, what happens to be the thing from which all chocolate is made. You cannot make chocolate without it. I use 1 billion beans every week in the factory. So as soon as I discovered that the Oompa Loompas loved them, I climbed up to the treehouse village, poked my head through the door of the treehouse belonging to the leader of the tribe. He was so thin and hungry, trying to eat green caterpillars. Look here, I said. If you all want to come back to my country and live in my factory, you can have all the beans you want. I've got mountains of them. You can gorge yourselves. I'll pay you your wages in cocoa beans if you wish. Do you mean it? Asked the Oompa Loompa leader. Of course I mean it, and you can have the chocolate as well. Chocolate tastes even better than the beans because it's got milk and sugar added. The little man gave a great whoop of joy. He threw his arms around Mr. Willy Wonka. It's a deal. Let's go. So I shipped them over here, every man, woman, and child in the Oompa Loompa tribe. It was easy. They all speak English now. They love dancing and music. They always make up songs. You'll hear a great deal of singing today from time to time. But they are rather mischievous. They like jokes, and they wear the same kind of clothes that they wore when they lived in the jungle. So, as you can see, they wear deer skins. Daddy, shouted Veruca Salt, the girl who got everything she wanted. Daddy, I want an Oompa Loompa. I want you to get me an Oompa Loompa. I want an Oompa Loompa now. Daddy, get me an Oompa Loompa. Not now, my pet, her father said. We mustn't interrupt Mr. Wonka. But I want an Oompa Loompa, screamed Veruca. All right, Veruca, I'll get it for you, but be patient. All of a sudden, Mrs. Gloop shouted, Augustus, I don't think you'd better do that. Augustus had quietly sneaked down to the edge of the river, was kneeling on the riverbank, scooping hot, melted chocolate into his mouth as fast as he could. And chapter 17 is Augustus Gloop goes up the pipe. So I think we kind of have an idea of what might be happening next. All right, boys and girls, have a great day.